picking up inside a recycling plant. Got some video of that. Got to meet another subscriber. Also, had to give Rusty an emergency haircut, and it ain't pretty. On this episode of
The Clutch Trucker Channel.
Clutch Trucker, filmed before live and furry, not as much, studio audience. And we'll explain that. It is Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Coming to you live from the Clutch Trucker Studios, currently located in Caldwell, Idaho. Not Ohio, Idaho. I'll tell you about the terrible thing I had to do to Rusty in just a minute. But first off, Bo had been looking for a load since yesterday while I was still delivering, and finally came up with one close to midday today while I was over in Portland. And then once he sent it over, it showed it didn't pick up till tomorrow. And so I called the broker and said, look, hey, can I pick this up today? The broker's like, oh, no, you got to pick it up tomorrow. So I walked over and got some lunch at Arby's, and I came back and was about to take a nap, and then they called me and said, well, the broker's calling us constantly to see if you're there yet. Like, I talked to the broker this morning. They said I couldn't come over. Well, apparently they changed their mind, and they wanted it picked up today. So I went on over there. This was a plastic recycling plant. Kind of interesting. I had to go drive inside the building, inside the plant where they're recycling everything, to where they have a little dock set up, back up to that, and then got loaded. But I got some video of going in and some also video of what they were recycling. It's kind of interesting. All right, here I am coming in, and I've already hopped over a little ramp, come in the door that's sideways, and I'm going to work my way to get angled up towards the dock. Look how close my grill guard is to this piece of equipment right here. Look at that. Yeah, this guy was guiding me in, and now I have to kind of pull forward and finagle my way back into the dock. Here goes the high speed. It's always crazy when you get loads like this. I'm loading inside this warehouse. Had to drive in, weave around some stuff, and back into this whole dock. This is a plastic recycling place. And look over there. There are buckets going up and dropping into that big tumbler. I think that's washing them or something. Then they go down to another conveyor belt, and they go up over there, and they drop into a shredder. See some buckets going up and dropping in right now, and they get shredded up, and then they go up that other conveyor, and I don't know where they go from there, if they get cooked down or if they get shredded some more. But this is a plastic recycling place. And see, there you got pallets full of buckets that are yet to be gone in and recycled. So pretty wild. So it turns out they got me loaded just in time to hit the rush hour traffic there in Portland. So, which is just terrible. They've got some of the worst traffic of any American city. But anyway, got going on my way, and then I talked to Greg Hayes, who his YouTube channel is With Both Feet, and you'll see him sometimes in my comments. With Both Feet is the name that's on there. And we've talked a few times, and he knew I was going to be kind of close to his area. He lives in the Boise area. And said, hey, well, he gave me a call. We talked for a while, and then he called later on at night, as I picked up so late in the afternoon. He knew I might be coming through about the same time he was getting done with his run. He does kind of dedicated stuff back and forth between Twin Falls and the Boise area. So I said, yeah, I'll be in Caldwell there to the Sage Travel Center about 1:15 Mountain Time if you want to meet up. And so we got to meet up, and so let's look at another subscriber. Hey, Greg. Okay, we got another visitor here on the Clutch Trucker truck. This is Greg Hayes, also known as With Both Feet, is what you go by on YouTube, right?
Yeah, Greg from the With Both Feet channel. Hi, everybody. We're get the early morning tour of the Clutch Trucker remodel. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, we're in the Boise area, Caldwell to be exact. This is where you live, so you called me earlier today, or I called you earlier today, and we talked a bit, and then you said, well, if you're coming through, well, that's about the time you'd be getting home, so
yeah.
You came over here and met me at the Sage Travel Center is where we're at, or Sage Stop. What do they call it?
Sage Truck Stop.
Here in Caldwell.
Yeah, I-84 exit 29. Yeah, this is neat.
So,
Yeah.
you know, like I asked Libby the other day who was in here, you know, you've seen it all on the videos, but now how does that compare to being in it in person?
Yeah, it's quite a bit different. I mean, you get to see the details, and yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff crammed into a
Yep.
semi truck. Yeah.
Take advantage of every little space I had is what it came down to.
Yeah, it ended up being laid out really well. I like it. It's pretty neat.
We had to tie up Rusty outside so you could come in and have a tour without him barking his head off.
Yeah, Rusty's definitely a good guard dog, you can tell.
Oh yeah, well that's where it's nice. If I'm ever in sketchy areas, I like having the dog with me.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, Greg, thanks so much for coming by. Nice to have you here.
All right, thanks, Clutch.
So we got to chat for a while, and while we were talking, I had taken Rusty out of the truck. Yeah, I let him do his thing when we first got here. And then I tied him up to the step that's behind my cab, not knowing that poor Rusty was going to, you know, lose his mind and decide he needs to crawl around a little bit. And he got himself underneath the fuel tank, underneath the drivetrain and the air tank and all that, where it's just covered in grease. And poor Rusty, the whole top of him, from his head all the way down his back, was just caked in grease. So I felt really bad about that, and you know, Greg's like, well, gee, sorry about that. And he tried to offer me some extra wipe stuff and pulled out my wipes trying to get the grease off. It's just, it wouldn't come off the fur. So I had to pull out the old scissors. Yeah. I did a basic butcher job on poor Rusty and had to cut off all the fur that was covered in grease, because I wasn't going to put him back here in the truck and let him track the grease all over everything, including my bed and all that. And I felt really bad about it, but you know, the only thing I could do was cut it off. You know, short of a massive chemical bath of some sort, which I didn't have access to. So unfortunately, I had to kind of butcher a lot of the fur off. You'll see in the ending when he's getting his begging strip that, you know, he got kind of butchered and all that, but he handled it pretty well, I thought, actually, because as I was cutting all the fur off, he just kind of stayed there on the step outside while I was working on him. Had to put on my headlamp so I could see what I was doing, but yeah, poor dog, he got kind of butchered. Can't tell too much by looking at his face. I had to chop some fur off his ears, so they're now uneven. I had to take a whole bunch off the top of his head. Poor dog. Look down for me. And right there, and all down his back, because he kept crawling underneath the fuel tanks and everything. So I don't know how well you can see here, but poor Rusty, look at that. I had to take all the fur off. It's almost down to nothing. I tried cleaning him up with the wipes as best I could, but unfortunately I had to cut it all off. I'm sure next time I bring him to the groomer, they're going to be like, what did you do to this dog? His face is uneven. I'm sorry, Rusty. I tried. I'm terrible at grooming you. That's why I always pay somebody else to do it. But he put up with it pretty well. You know, because now it's all uneven over here. Look at this. Poor doggy. But you tolerated it well, and I appreciate that. My fault. Shouldn't have tied him up where I did. But you did well. Thank you, Rusty. I'm so sorry I got you all greasy. But you did good. You still love me? He's like, I'm going to think about that for right now. There, big guy. Right? Well, but it was great meeting Greg, and you know, I talked to him before, and we corresponded and stuff, so I always like meeting some of my subscribers. So, like I've said before, I think I put it in the comments maybe, but if you ever see me out here on the road, and you want to come over and say hi, if the curtains here are open, by all means, come up, knock on the door, say hi. If they're closed, please don't. I'm probably trying to sleep or just trying to wind down or something, you know. But I love meeting people out here on the road, so, and telling your story. Oh, by the way, this load I picked up is going all the way down to Troy, Alabama. That is southeast of Montgomery for a Monday delivery. So I was glad they got me loaded today, so I was able to advance a little bit further. I've got an air leak issue, and now I've got another trailer side light. I replaced the light the other day on the marker light. The turn signal part works, but the marker light still doesn't. So I'm going to try to get both of those things fixed Friday morning when I hit Cheyenne. It's been a very, very long day. I was up early this morning, and yet didn't get loaded till late this afternoon. Met with Greg here at 1 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time. Then I had to deal with Rusty. Here it is now almost 6 a.m. Central Time, and I'm just now getting around to doing the video and winding down. So gonna leave tonight, and then try to make Cheyenne in the morning, get a few things done. Maybe have dinner with the family, and I'll get back on the road Friday night and finish the drive over the weekend down to Troy, Alabama. Well, thanks for tuning in for that. Yeah, poor Rusty. And I mean, look, he lost all the extra fur up here. If he looks down, look at the top of his head, poor dog. I kind of had to butcher his ears. Poor thing. But he put up with it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. As always, please subscribe, please like and comment. I get to your comments usually within 2 to 3 days because I'm a working truck driver. Clutch Trucker on Instagram, Clutch Trucker on Twitter, and as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and a butchered Rusty out. No, one of the passengers is flying the plane. Yeah, he's a menace to everything up in the air. Yeah, birds too. All right, he's eyeing that strip. Oh, it's up there in your pet bed. Go get it. There you go. Happy dog. Lost a lot of his fur, unfortunately, but he tolerated it. Alright, since you had to go through all that mess tonight, I got more for you. Here's another little piece. Oh yeah. But wait, there's more. Yeah, I feel guilty, so he's getting more begging strips than usual. Alright, one last little piece here, Rusty. Come get it. There you go. Happy dog.